She wore her wedding ring for 40 years, but a tiny engraving made her question everything about her marriage. After 40 years of wearing her wedding band, Margaret decided to have it professionally cleaned. She expected a simple visit, walk in, have it cleaned, and leave. However, when the jeweler took the ring and began inspecting it, things immediately changed. He slowly rotated the ring in his hands, his serene gaze becoming to one of confusion then seriousness. He looked up and said something that made her uncomfortable, "You shouldn't have this." Margaret grew confused and afraid. "What do you mean?" she inquired. But the jeweler did not respond soon away. He continued glancing at a tiny mark on the band. Margaret leaned closer to see what he was looking at. She asked again, "Is something wrong?" Still, he did not explain. The cozy jewelry shop felt strangely odd. The gentle ticking of a clock on the wall mirrored the beating in her chest. What was supposed to be a simple moment had evolved into something unusual. Trying to break the tension, she smiled and pleaded, "Can you just clean it, please?" But the jeweler appeared unsure, as if he wanted to say something but wasn't sure whether he should. After a long pause, he returned the ring, but not before giving it one final long look. Then he asked her an unexpected question, "Are you sure this is your wedding ring?" Margaret froze. She has worn that ring every day for 4 decades, she recognized every line, every sparkle, but at that time, skepticism crept in. What if she hadn't truly paid attention to the details? She attempted to laugh it off, saying, "Yes, of course it is," but even she wasn't certain anymore. The jeweler leaned in and murmured quietly, "Be careful who you show this to." His voice was low, almost as a threat. Margaret put the ring back on her finger, but it felt different. Heavier. Mysterious. Margaret returned home and sat in her living room, holding the ring near to a light, looking for what the jeweler had seen. To her, it resembled the ring John had placed on her finger when they married. But now she was unsure, and with John on a business trip, she couldn't even ask him. Needing answers, she went to a second jeweler the next day, this time a woman with pleasant but attentive eyes. "How special is this ring to you?" the jeweler inquired softly. Margaret blinked, she was unsure what to say. The jeweler pointed at something inside the ring. "There is an engraving, it is custom, rare." Margaret took the magnifier and glanced inside. At first, she noticed nothing. Then a small date appeared, engraved in delicate, tiny letters. Her heart fell. It was not her wedding date. It was an entirely other date. "This can't be right," she said. She stroked her hand across the engraving, hoping it would erase, but it did not. "Was this ring passed down to you?" the jeweler inquired gently. Margaret shook her head, but her doubts grew quickly. "Usually, only the original couple asks for something this personal," the jeweler added. Margaret exited the shop in a fog. At home, she attempted to call John, but he did not respond. She went through old photo albums, trying to get a clear photograph of the ring from their wedding day, but all of the images were fuzzy or far away. Later that night, as she sat quietly, she took one more glance at the ring and discovered something unexpected. There were initials engraved right beneath the strange date. She lifted it up to the light, her heart has stopped. These were not her initials, they weren't John's, either. For 40 years, she believed the ring represented her love story. She wasn't sure what it stood for. Whose ring was she wearing? When John returned from his trip, Margaret couldn't hold back any longer. After dinner, she sat him down and showed him the ring. He became silent, his eyes told her the truth before he spoke, his voice shook. "It wasn't supposed to be yours," he acknowledged, "it belonged to someone from my past. Someone I never talked about." Margaret felt her chest tightening. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't think it mattered," he explained quietly, but it did matter. For her, it was extremely important. The love and memories associated with that ring felt different. Margaret had spent decades wearing something she didn't own. She went back to the original jeweler, hoping for a final confirmation. He just nodded. Margaret sat alone that night, holding the ring in her hand. She had no idea what she would do next, but one thing was certain, her story had changed forever.